We are in Spain 3 years before the Second World War. As in Germany and Italy, a fascist dictator comes to power on the Iberian Peninsula, Franco. And with massive military support from fascist Italy and the National Socialist German Reich. However, despite this help and Franco's sympathies for the other fascists, he took a completely different course during the Second World War. He refused to support the Axis powers and declared Spain neutral. But why did he do this? Why was this tolerated by Hitler, and how neutral was Spain really? We look at all these questions in today's video. Between the years 1936 and 1939, there was a lot of chaos in Spain. From the year 1936, fascist troops under General Franco fought against the Second Spanish Republic. This had been proclaimed only shortly before, in the year 1931, by an alliance of Republicans and Socialists, and was intended to smooth the transition from monarchy to democracy. However, similar to the Weimar Republic, which was also the first step from German monarchy to democracy, it was also plagued by numerous problems. There were several attempted coups by left-wing anarchists and right-wing members of the military almost from the outset. The country was also in a very bad economic situation. In the year 1933, there was a political standstill and early elections were held. The winner was a right-wing coalition with the support of the fascists and monarchists, which immediately withdrew all democratic rights. Nationwide uprisings followed, and Catalonia even briefly broke away from Spain completely and founded the Free State of Catalonia. The country sank back into political chaos. And in the next early elections, 1936, an anti-fascist alliance called the Popular Front came to power. This consisted of communists, socialists and republicans. However, this led to a military coup by the anti-democratic and anti-communist generals, which also initiated the Spanish Civil War. The generals were supported by the right-wing parties, the monarchists and the church, and were led by General Franco. He was able to conquer the whole of Spain piece by piece from the Spanish colony of Morocco. He was generously supported by Germany and Italy. For Hitler in particular, the Spanish Civil War was a stroke of luck. On the one hand, Spanish democracy was a thorn in his side from the very beginning, and he was given the opportunity to test the deployment of the Wehrmacht there. And as the anti-communists received hardly any support from abroad, Franco's victory soon became apparent. Officially, the Civil War ended on the 1st of April in the year 1939, just a few months before the start of the Second World War. In total, it claimed between 200,000 and 500,000 lives, depending on the estimate. Spain, like Germany and Italy, was now a dictatorship, and it seemed obvious that it would ally itself with them. It joined the Anti-Comintern Pact between Germany, Italy and Japan in April of the year 1939. And just one day later, Spain also withdrew from the International League of Nations. But then something happened that Franco did not like at all. A few days before the outbreak of the Second World War, on the 24th of August in the year 1939, the German Reich signed the Hitler-Stalin Pact with the Soviet Union. Franco then complained, "Now we are allies of the Russians." For him, the communists were the absolute archenemies at the time, and he wanted to prevent any cooperation. Accordingly, Spain declared itself neutral at the outbreak of the war. Officially, this was justified by the poor economic situation, the weakened Spanish army and the lack of equipment and weapons. In fact, however, there was another important reason. The British were threatening an immediate invasion of Spain if it sided with the Axis powers. And the Canary Islands, the Balearic Islands and the coastal areas around the British colony of Gibraltar also appeared to be easy prey for the British. And so, despite several requests from Germany, Franco refused to officially enter the war. After the only official meeting, Hitler is said to have said that he would rather have several teeth pulled than negotiate with Franco again. It was only when Germany virtually became a neighboring state of Spain after the conquest of France that things began to move. Franco wanted to participate in Hitler's seemingly imminent victory and gave up his neutrality and declared himself a non-belligerent power. This left Spain in a state somewhere between neutrality and an Axis power. As there were also many supporters of the National Socialists in Spain, the División Azul, or Blue Division, was founded in the year 1941. This comprised around 20,000 soldiers who later fought on the Eastern Front. Spain also supplied Germany with war material, intelligence information and submarine bases. However, Franco did not officially enter the war and did not comply with Hitler's demand to conquer Gibraltar. Hitler is therefore said to have secretly worked on removing Franco in order to bring a more suitable candidate to power. However, by the year 1943 at the latest, the tide had turned and Germany was now on the defensive, which meant that other operations took priority. And due to Germany's setbacks, Franco now tried to balance his position more and more between the Axis powers and the Allies. Spain was extremely dependent on oil and food imports across the Atlantic, which was controlled by the British and Americans. And although the Spanish supported Hitler's fight against the communists, Hitler's racial ideology had no supporters in Spain. Franco and his closest supporters also rejected this, which is why Spain was the neutral country that took in the most Jews. From the end of the year 1943, when a German defeat became apparent, Spain declared itself officially neutral again and stopped providing material support to Hitler. This also appeased the Allies and Spain was left with a relatively clean slate after the war. In summary, it can be said that Franco saw the relationship with Hitler and Mussolini more as a temporary business relationship than an ideological community of fate. Depending on the current war situation, these relationships were strengthened or weakened. And as Germany was involved in too many theaters of war at the same time, Franco was able to get away with this policy.